Hey guys, Paul Wayne from Ring Fever, and I'm joined with two of my crew members. We got Joseph.
Yeah, that's good.
And Jose from the Guardian Angels.
Hey.
We saw Wrestlemania last night, and I'm sorry, the opinions expressed in this report are not necessarily those of 1Wrestling.com. That was the lamest Wrestlemania I've ever seen.
Oh, I gotta agree. Especially, what about Alberto Del Rio and Edge as the opening fight for
The World Heavyweight Championship match.
Championship as being the opening match?
Come on, it wasn't necessarily bad, but it wasn't necessarily good either. It had a few good moments.
A few good moments, but not that wow WrestleMania moment. But let's go through the results real quick for 1Wrestling.com's viewers. We had Edge defeat Alberto Del Rio, which I didn't expect.
Yeah, but Del Rio, I feel bad for him. He suffered a tragedy of justice. His Royce got destroyed.
Yep.
Ricardo Rodriguez, where were you?
He destroyed his Rolls Royce.
Although I gotta say though, Alberto did a great job.
Oh no, he did.
But still, a championship match being the first.
I know.
First match.
Yeah, look, whoever did the booking needs to be fired and shot. Del Rio, his time was his destiny.
Yep.
I wanted him to break Edge's arm and get the title.
I just hope he has Geico. But anyway, we had Cody Rhodes defeat Rey Mysterio. That was a good match, I thought.
I mean, for a Rey Mysterio match, you know, I always expect a whole lot more, and maybe with his knee being injured, like he wasn't the regular 619 that I'm used to seeing him spinning all around the ring.
Yep.
You also got to take into consideration age is a factor now.
Right. Then we had the 8-man tag. We had the Big Show, Kane, Santino, and Kofi Kingston instead of Kozlov. What happened?
Yeah, that was kind of weird. But the core suffered a tragedy of justice.
Everything's a tragedy of justice.
Well,
it was.
But now to have Kofi Kingston in a match, and the match was over in a blink of an eye.
It was like 2 seconds.
The core job, they jobbed the core.
I know. They
jobbed
the core.
Ezekiel Jackson.
Exactly.
I wanted him to destroy Big Show.
That would have been much. I think a single match between the two of them would have been much better.
It should have been in the first place.
Right. Then we had Randy Orton defeat CM Punk.
Look, I thought the odds were heavy against Randy Orton when his leg was getting worked on throughout the whole match until he just pulled the RKO from out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, off of the top rope, man. I thought that was one of the better matches.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then, naturally, as I've been saying for weeks, John Morrison, Trish, and Snooki defeated Dolph Ziggler and McCool when Snooki got the pin on Michelle McCool. I'm not, you know what? And first of all, the match was like what, 30 seconds?
I was using the restroom at the time.
Well, I mean, give Snooki some credit. I mean,
no, the flip she did was
I'll give her that. That was it.
That was good.
But once again, a waste of talent when you got John Morrison in a match and all he does is his Starship of Pain. Like, that was it.
Yep. But we all knew Snooki was going to get the pin. That was obvious. Yeah. Then we had Michael Cole versus Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler actually got the pin, but then the decision was reversed, and Michael Cole wound up winning by disqualification.
Damn you, anonymous Raw General Manager! Damn you to hell! You...
I couldn't believe it.
King, I savored the beating that the King gave him. Just as much as I love what Austin stuttered Booker T and Josh Matthews. I wish they would have took the laptop of the anonymous Raw General Manager and threw it at the steel post.
Well, let's not forget, though, before all of that, Jack Swagger received a Stone Cold Stunner.
Yes, he did.
So 3 Stone Cold Stunners in a WrestleMania. That was pretty cool.
Very cool.
But it will never top the double stunner he did on Skull.
No, it won't. In the best match of the night, The Undertaker actually kept the streak alive, beating Triple H, and now he's 19-0.
At the cost of his own life.
Yep. Now, I'm going to say, because we always pick a wrestler, usually I pick a wrestler of the week for my SmackDown report, but a wrestler of the night for a WrestleMania has to go to Triple H. He tried so hard to get that victory.
Well, I think he was even closer than Shawn Michaels in this.
I got to say, Undertaker. I mean, he received 3 pedigrees. He took his own finisher, the Tombstone. I got to give it to The Undertaker, although I've been on record, I was very nervous for that match because for crying out loud, Triple H is doing the boss's daughter, and
are you still with that?
I'm still with it, but
Sorry.
I kind of thought that Triple H was going to take the victory, although I'm very glad that The Undertaker kept the streak.
Yeah.
But to see Undertaker go against Triple H and not have the same type of match that he did with HBK twice.
Nobody can have that kind of match.
He can't, and I think Undertaker should have bowed out and retired, and I don't think this match should have ever happened. It was a good match, but cut it when you're at your best, at the top of your game.
In other words, you agree with Triple H as in it's time.
Yeah, look, man, Triple H pulled out literally all the stops.
As
almost got himself killed.
Yeah.
And look, you saw what happened at the end. The Undertaker could barely even stand. He looked dead.
Although I give Triple H for the best entrance of the night.
Oh yeah.
I mean, everybody was thinking the Undertaker was coming out first, and then how the thing changed. At first, I thought it was a bunch of tombstones. To see the shields and then to see the King of Kings, but Undertaker definitely, clearly, I would say, is my wrestler of the night.
Okay. Yeah, Triple H coming out with the Sparta getup.
Yeah, exactly. And then in the final match of the evening, The Miz, believe it or not, retained the title against John Cena.
Yep, in the greatest moment in history. This is not a WrestleMania moment, but to me, it will be the greatest moment handed down in all time in the generations.
Which was?
When The Rock said that he would restart the match with no disqualification, no count out. And as soon as John Cena was trying to get at The Miz with an attitude adjustment, he turned around and received the rock bottom. God, I prayed that John Cena would not get the title. I prayed that he would win. And God granted me my wish. And the good Lord looked at John Cena and said, I'm sorry, Cena, but as much as I like you with all the stuff you did, it's The Miz's time. And he struck it, and he put his foot down and struck John Cena with great vengeance and furious anger, and humbled The Miz and let him win.
Well, now, are you saying that because how John Cena's entrance was actually a choir? I mean,
no.
Now it's
suddenly, something to do with it.
It has nothing to do with it. The choir to me, that choir had nothing to do with what he was doing.
Don't get me wrong though. I thought the choir was good.
It was,
and it was pretty, and it was very spiritual. This, that, the third. But I could see HBK at a WrestleMania coming out to a choir.
Yeah.
You can't see John Cena and then all of a sudden his entrance comes out where he's rapping and all that. I kind of thought, with John Cena,
the balance wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't. When John Cena did the WrestleMania and he comes out with the Tommy guns and this and that, I actually thought
he's walking down with him in the ring.
Well, I actually thought, John Cena was going to have the best entrance. And once again, I got to say it was Triple H. Although I got to agree with you, Miz's video was awesome.
Now let's go through, for 1Wrestling.com fans, the Meter Mania. No, the Mania Meter, I should say. I was close. All right, Edge versus Del Rio. I'll give it a 6.
I give it a 6 too because once again, Alberto Del Rio, I didn't think he could perform as good as he did on a WrestleMania. I kind of thought, him being a rookie, winning the Royal Rumble, and now here he is. I kind of thought, he performed pretty well, better to my expectations. I give it a 6 also.
I give it a 7. Yeah, because I've been watching Alberto Del Rio for quite some time before he went to WWE, and to see how he was mad close, so close to getting the World Heavyweight Championship, almost in his grasp, only to have it taken away from him. Yeah. Your time will come, though. You'll get him next time.
Oh, yeah. But now you got to also remember, though, Alberto Del Rio, even though he's been wrestling for some quite time, I mean, now you're at WrestleMania where it was a jam-packed arena. You can't tell me that you're not going to get a little stage fright, no matter how professional you are, with it being the granddaddy of it all.
Yeah, he did give it his all.
Oh, yeah.
He did. Cody Rhodes versus Rey Mysterio. I'd give it a 8.
4.
I'd go with an 8 also.
Okay. The 8-man tag team match, which is how long it lasted.
No, this suffers an epic 0 to me because the core suffered a tragedy of justice and the match was so short.
So short.
We have to make you a Tragedy of Justice T-shirt. Okay. But anyway.
But you wanted a greater match. I'll tell you, greater. You should have had Nexus and Core in the ring at the same time. The people want it. We both know they both want to take over WWE. Let them go at it so that there can only be only one.
Well, WWE. What about Survivor Series?
Yeah,
that would be
there you go.
A good Survivor Series match.
That means we have to tolerate them throughout the summer, which I don't know if we can handle. Randy Orton versus CM Punk. 5.
I'll have to go 6.
6.
Okay. John Morrison, Trish, and Snooki.
Wow.
Big fat 0.
I have to go on my WrestleMania media in the negatives. I really don't know how far in the negatives. I mean, the only good thing was Snooki's flip and negative.
Look, I'll rather deal with Robbie E and Cookie.
Yeah,
if they're more entertaining.
There you go. Michael Cole versus Jerry Lawler, just for the sheer entertainment value of it, I give that about a 9. Because it was funny when Stone Cold came out and Michael Cole with that stupid get-up. So for the entertainment value of it, I give that a 9.
I give it a 4.
I give it
a 10.
Okay.
Oh, you've been wanting to see Michael Cole get his ass whooped for some quite time.
Yes. This has been a year, I believe.
But I could have seen that match on a Raw or a SmackDown. Like, it wasn't a WrestleMania match. I mean, when WrestleMania comes to the part where the biggest thing of the night was The Rock and Mae Young, actually, she wanted to see the people's strudel. That was the best WrestleMania moment. That for the pure entertainment value, that was a perfect 10. And that's a problem if that was a perfect 10 in a WrestleMania moment.
Speaking of perfect 10, The Undertaker versus Triple H, I'm not going to give it a 10. I'm actually, in honor of his victory, I'm going to give it a 19. That was an amazing match.
I gotta go for an 8, only because Shawn Michaels 1 and 2 with The Undertaker was a perfect 10.
Okay.
You can't compare the Triple H match.
Okay.
You can't.
Look,
Triple H is older. Triple H hurt his ribs. He wasn't performing the same way. The Undertaker, you could see ring rust. You could see slowdown. You can't. I think Shawn Michaels gave The Undertaker his best, and that's the reason why Undertaker performed at his best, even though it's only a year apart from those 2 WrestleManias. But the Dead Man was really the best. I think Shawn Michaels helped make that match, those 2 perfect 10 matches.
Okay. But I know for a fact that no one will ever be able to top or replace Undertaker Michaels 1 and 2.
No.
But to see Triple H and Undertaker go at it from ever since WrestleMania 17, which I think was one of my favorite matches.
What would you rate it?
These were a grand spanking 10.
Okay, there you go.
Because of all the crap they put each other through. You saw what happened. They were nearly dead.
Well, they destroyed all the coal mines.
Yes, and I love that.
But once again, the pace of the match is not as the pace as Shawn Michaels 1 and 2. And that's why I got to give it an 8. I'm sorry. I know you're probably going to hate me on the train ride back home. But you know what? You cannot duplicate. Shawn Michaels is Mr. WrestleMania.
That's right.
It's a little disappointing that Shawn Michaels didn't try to slide his way into the limelight. It really was, because we kind of actually debated, if Michaels would show up, give the sledgehammer. Maybe Michaels, we even talked about he was going to turn on Triple H or whatever the case. It didn't happen.
And Michaels was right. You can't win. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. And then finally, The Miz and John Cena. I'd give it a 3.
I don't know, Paul. That one, too, I would have to probably go for an 8, only because of the sure fact The Miz to be able to main event when all his people doubted him.
That's right.
Even in the real world.
Not the real world, the show, the real world.
But the show. Like, nobody figured he would achieve. And if this was a few years ago when actually he challenged John Cena and The Miz actually lost and all that, if that was then, I would never picture that he would have made it to WrestleMania, let alone be in the main event.
Right.
And he, too, him and Alberto Del Rio performed miraculously in front of all those fans for the very first time to main event it. I gotta give that an 8.
Okay.
Look, I gave it an 8. It'd be like, sure, the pace of the match wasn't as great. It was a little slow. But as it went on, and Miz overcame all of that, even with The Rock's help. I had a feeling I thought there was an alliance between these two, but it's all the battle of the ego. And I want to see what happens with this. I call it Extreme Rules, Rock versus Cena.
There you go. We'll see what happens. But that's our WrestleMania wrap-up. For Halloween, Jose from the Guardian Angels. And by the way, if you want more information on the Guardian Angels, go to www.guardianangels.org. For Joseph, Paul Ween, for 1Wrestling.com. Check us out at ringfever.com. And we will see you at the matches.